Hi, it's me, Dawn from Positively Narcolepsy and Going Beyond Coping. This video is called Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, and it is about sleep issues that affect people with narcolepsy. You might have some of these sleep issues too. If you want to read the caption, I'm going to list the things that I'm talking about there so you can take a peek and decide if you want to keep watching. Like I did with the arguing post, if you haven't seen it, people with narcolepsy have a difficult time controlling their anger. And I did 5 rules for arguing with narcolepsy. You can find that in the video section on Positively Narcolepsy on Facebook. You can find it on YouTube on the Going Beyond Coping channel. No spaces, just Going Beyond Coping. And you can find that on my blog at goingbeyondcoping.com. Noticing what affects your sleep disorders makes it easier to deal with them. And sometimes we get too tired or too close to things to understand what's happening. So that's what that's all about. Like I did with that video, I'm going to caption this. Should be seeing captions down there on Facebook. I don't know how to do the captions on YouTube yet. So if you would rather read the text of this video or I'm not going completely by the script. You can find that on my blog at goingbeyondcoping.com. You can also type in positivelynarcolepsy.com and that will redirect you to my blog. So I'm not a doctor or a mental health professional. I've had narcolepsy for 38 years. My symptoms started at the age of 11 and became daily by the time I was 19. I learned a lot of coping strategies in the decades that went past, and the purpose of this video is to share some of my coping strategies with you so that you can put it through the you filter and see what you can apply to your own life and try and tweak and see if you can get some improvements in the areas that are really bothering you the most. So let's dig in. I'm going to be looking down a lot because my notes are down here and I'm tired. I'm going to talk about nightmares, hallucinations, sleep paralysis, and insomnia. I'm going to hold up a paper each time I go to a new section. So if you want to use the forward function to look for the next paper, feel free to do that. Or you can just go to the blog and read. Scan rather than listening. I know some people, videos make them tired, so I wanted to make sure I had the text as well. The first thing that I want to talk about is the core of my coping strategy for everything that happens in the narcolepsy realm, and that is giving up my fear of death. In many ways, it's like you live 2 lives, right? You've got your waking life and your sleeping life. And that's kind of how it is for most people, but in the narcolepsy realm, you get a lot of crossovers. Like when The Flash is on Supergirl, you get that mixed together. When we were kids, The Love Boat and Fantasy Island, if you're old like me anyway. A lot of the things that happen in your dreams are characters from your real life, so it's extra hard to figure out if the conversation that you had was a dream or was it real. You hear or see funny memes about the girl smacking the guy when she wakes up because she dreamed that he cheated on her. Well, magnify that by like a ton, and that's what it's like to live with narcolepsy. Sometimes it's very difficult to tell if you're dreaming or not. What I finally discovered after years and years of fear, just the fear is so real. It's terrifying and paralyzing and affects your days and your nights. And so yeah, I got through that. So maybe some of this will help you find your way through it as well. So what I discovered is that I can't die in my dreams. And that really, it gave me a sense of power to know that I don't have to be afraid to die in my dreams, because I just wake up. I'm not going to actually die. Freddy Krueger had me brainwashed into thinking that the stuff that's happening inside of my head could really hurt me. And other than mentally tripping you out for a while, you're not in any physical danger of your dreams unless you have like something rare. So what happened for me was I was having a dream, and I can go lucid, sometimes lucid dreaming. If you've never heard of lucid dreaming, you should give that a Google and see if you can try and figure out how to do it, because it does give you a lot more power, especially over nightmares. So this, I'm hopping from roof to roof. I've got like Spider-Man powers, and I don't know how to sling the webs because I only played that Xbox game like a decade ago. So I'm just hopping. I'm enjoying the fact that I can jump like 30 feet and it's fun. And then all of a sudden, this enormous ogre shows up. He's like as big as the Empire State Building. And he's keeping up with me. And every time I think I've gotten away from him, he's right behind me again. And I got so tired. I mean, doing things in your dreams is just as tiring as doing them while you're awake. The brain doesn't always know that you're dreaming when you have narcolepsy, or that you're not physically having activity. So I just looked at the ogre and I said, look, I've got to work in the morning. If you're going to eat me, because I'm exhausted and I need to sleep. And it worked. The dream dissolved and the ogre was gone. And I had a good laugh right there in the middle of the night. So something inside of me clicked, and even though a lot of the things were super scary, realizing that they couldn't kill me gave me such a power. Like now, instead of hiding from the bad guys, I'm charging the bad guys with my powers in my dreams. And it changes things in your daytime too. When you have a night of sleeping and you're scared the whole night, it really does affect your next day. So I encourage you, even if you don't hear something in here that sounds doable to you, to keep looking for things you can try. Let's see. Okay, so that type of coping, giving up your fear of death, only works if you're aware that you're dreaming, obviously. Once you get the mindset that you're not going to die, that our brain is just some horror show junkie that likes to feed us all these weird dreams, we can do what I like to call rationalizing with your tired brain. This leads us to the first topic of nightmares. And I'm going to go through each of these things one at a time. Once I'm aware it's a dream, I just end it. And that's usually where you come out of it. If you're not lucid, you just, the dream ends one way or another and you wake up. Especially if you wake up and you're super emotional. Like sometimes I dream about my daughter that left me and I wake up crying. So the first thing that you want to do is ground yourself in reality. Look at your stuff, look around your room, look at your hands, and realize that you're awake now, that you're out of the narcolepsy realm and back into reality, and most importantly, you're safe. You're in your house, in your bed, most likely, unless you're out napping. We do that too. And you're safe. It helps to sometimes put a sign on your wall. Like you could have a sign like right by your bed, stuck on the wall, that says it was just a dream. Like sometimes that's all it takes, you know, just one little quote to snap you out of it and to help you realize that you're back now. You can cuddle with your significant other, a pet, a pillow, whatever's available to comfort yourself. Like a child would, you know, I mean, you just had a bad dream. Imagine you were 4 again, and what would you want? You'd want comfort. You'd want to know that it's over and this is now and that you're safe. So give that to yourself. It'll help you go back to sleep. If you can't shake it, you can try speaking to someone, whether it's virtually on Facebook or if it's a day nap that you woke from, calling a friend on the phone. If no one's online, you can go to the support groups. There's 20,000 people in there. Someone's got to be awake. For me, it just helps a lot to read other stuff other than what I'm going through, to put myself in other people's shoes, to escape my own reality, which is overwhelming me at the moment. You want to pull an Elsa and let it go. It's tough because our dreams can be really horrendous. I know, believe me. Waking up shaking, crying, sweating, feeling like it all really happened. I totally get it. Been there, done that. Soaked the bed sheets. You have to think of your dreams like a bad virtual reality game. Once you take the goggles off, it's over, right? So when you wake up, you want to physically do what it takes to bring yourself back to this reality. If you need to go back to sleep, you can try a guided meditation in headphones. I love headphones. They block everything else out and just give me the peaceful stuff that I'm looking for. A lot of times listening to a guided meditation will stop those stupid loop dreams where you wake up and you loop right back into it, and then you wake up and you loop right back into it. So listening to a book on tape, songs, poetry, whatever you have in your audio files to listen to can often interrupt that loop of dreams. If you can go lucid, if you've ever had a lucid dream, work on having a tell. That's how you tell that you're dreaming. For me, it's I float in my dreams. So I kick up my leg, and if I'm floating, then I know for sure that I'm dreaming. It helps a lot, especially when, you know, you get those weirdo dreams. I have them every night. Every night my dreams are weird. They're not always scary, but they are always weird. Okay, next one is hallucinations. And I'm going to go through each of these things one at a time. I'm not going to try and read them backwards. Try to keep the video a little bit shorter instead. Most of my hallucinations that scared the crap out of me happened in the daytime, like while I was awake. The scariest one, I was putting money in a safe at a job. It was late. I was very tired, and I saw someone at the door. And it looked like someone that I had known before, and it was very, very frightening. Usually I have the hallucinations while I'm sleeping or while I'm dancing on that line between asleep and awake. I hear my husband come home all the time. I'll hear the garage door go up. I'll hear the garage door open. I'll hear him walk into the kitchen. I'll hear him run the water. I'll hear him walk all the way up the stairs, and he won't even be in the house. And that's what narcolepsy is like. Good times, right? It's not just falling asleep in your soup on Deuce Bigelow. So I just ignore my hallucinations. When I hear him coming home, I just ignore it. And whether he's home or not isn't relevant to my nap. So I keep taking my nap. I had a dog named Bob. He was a black lab. I had him for 17 years, and he was amazing. And I used him as a barometer. I knew if Bob wasn't barking that none of it was real. So I was able to trust. Trust is huge when it comes to hallucinations, auditory and visual hallucinations. Very important to trust that what you're hearing or seeing isn't real and you can safely ignore it. Another thing that helps me is covering my eyes. I have just a soft shirt that I've had for a very long time, and I just lay it over my eyes like that. And that way, if I need to sit up, it falls off, and I'm not like clawing to try and see, because I get nervous at night when I can't see. So because my eyes are closed, I know if I'm seeing anything, they're covered, that it's a hallucination. So I just ignore it, and eventually it all goes away and I fall asleep. I had a dream about 3 guys coming into the bedroom while we were all sleeping in the middle of the night. And we know home invasions are real, and my brain knows home invasions are real, so it delivers me the dream of 3 guys coming into my bedroom in the middle of the night. And I had to trust that it was the narcolepsy realm, that it wasn't the real world that was happening, and it was in the narcolepsy realm, because the bulldog was still sleeping and my husband was still sleeping. And at that point, I give up my fear of death. I just say to myself, you know what, I need to rest. That's the most important thing. And if I die, I die. It's a good day to die, right? Yeah, it's an interesting concept to really seriously give up your fear of death. And until you try it, you can't imagine how much it helps you, how powerful it makes you feel to take back your power from the narcolepsy realm. Some soothing tips for hallucinations. Try and change your perspective away from being afraid to ignoring it or being curious about it. Ignoring it works best for me. If you're curious, you can stare at it, try and interact with it. You can determine if you're awake or not, because unless you're super, super tired, I don't think we typically have visual hallucinations. Like, we might be like catching something out of the corner of our eye, kind of a thing. Shadows, seeing one thing as something else. But unless you got the nods, or close to the nods, you're probably not dealing with that while you're awake. It's usually while you're waking up or falling asleep that it happens the most. So focus on being aware that it's not real, and that you're safe, and give yourself permission to not be afraid. Coping with fear will help you avoid symptoms that bring on a crash. It will also help your brain overcome the hallucination faster, because you're not flooding it with cortisol, which activates the fight or flight mechanism in our damaged hypothalamus, and does exhaust you. When you have that fear, it overwhelms your body, and it makes you even more incapable of taking care of the things that you need to take care of. So try to stay calm. More than anything else, try to stay calm. If you're crying, dry your eyes, find something to laugh at. Yes, the dream was hard, scary, seemed so real, whatever, but you gotta push that aside and don't give it your power anymore. Sleep paralysis. There's some things that you can do about sleep paralysis. I was lucky because I hit REM sleep super fast. Like, I can start to dream before I'm actually asleep. Average 60 seconds, I'm dreaming from the time I close my eyes when I'm ready to sleep. And so I would have sleep paralysis in the car while my mom was running errands. I'd just be sitting there in my chair, and I'd realize that I couldn't move my feet. And so I'd try to move something else, and I couldn't move that either. I'm totally awake and aware, and just literally paralyzed. And I found it really interesting, to be honest with you. It didn't scare me. I'm glad that it didn't. I was young, 12, 13 years old. So, and I was with my mom in the car. So it wasn't quite as scary, I guess, as being alone and experiencing it at the same time as a hallucination, because I've had that happen after that. And that was really scary. So, let's just page. I've been dealing with it over 3 decades now on a regular basis. So I just came to accept it as part of having narcolepsy, just like the fact that I have to hold the handrail when I go down the stairs or lean on the wall or something because my POTS doesn't like stairs. You learn symptom, what to do about it. Symptom, what to do about it. And if you're not on that path, get on it. The majority of the coping things that you're going to learn in this lifetime are not coming out of a doctor's office. They're coming out of a Facebook group. They're coming out of Reddit. They're coming out of someone else who suffers from what you're suffering from, giving you the idea to do something different. Coping is on you. No one can, make you cope. No one can, they can tell you how they cope, but they can't even teach you how to cope. Coping is all a decision that comes from within. And it doesn't mean your disorder is any less hard or scary or difficult to deal with or any of that stuff. Coping just means that you get some time for you. A little bit more helps than what you had before. So always be trying to find new ways to cope with your symptoms. Let's see, for what was that? Hallucinations. For hallucinations, you want to reassure yourself this isn't your first rodeo. As long as you're not in actual danger, like the house is on fire for real, you need to reassure yourself you're safe and try to relax. Even if it's, like I've literally hallucinated elephants in my room. Like I've heard them. I felt them shaking the floor. Dinosaurs in my room. Just crazy, crazy hallucinations. The floor is lava is not funny. Because it's been lava. Yeah. I'm just kidding. It is funny. Let's see. Don't struggle with sleep paralysis. That's like the worst thing that you can do. They say that too if you're drowning, right? Like if you're drowning, don't struggle. Just try to relax and float. And that's what you need to do with sleep paralysis. You need to close your eyes. You need to reassure yourself that you're in your bed. Whatever your outside circumstances are, that you're safe, and relax as much as possible. Breathe nice and slowly. And every once in a while, try to move a finger or try to move a toe and just see if it's breaking. If you can move one little thing, then the rest of the body is going to follow. You just want to be kind to yourself. Imagine you're a small child and the child is there staring at you. Oh my God, what do I do? What do? You relax and you breathe and you try to wake up, but don't struggle. If something scary is going on around you, repeat something to yourself. Say the Star-Spangled Banner. Whatever it is that you can remember. Sing a song in your head, something to distract yourself from what you're going through. You want to rationalize with your tired brain. Tell yourself that none of it's real. You don't have a fear of dying. You've given that up. If you die, you die in your dream. That's just the way it goes. I mean, we're not jumping in front of buses. But if we're in our bed and we're napping, then we should feel safe to know that we're not going to die from that. You really just trust. You got to trust. And it's scary the first couple of times that you try it. It really is. But if you just keep reassuring yourself and give it that good college try. And then when it works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, try to find something else that you can do. Okay, this is the last section. This is insomnia. Yes, people with narcolepsy get insomnia. And when you sleep eat, they call it insomnia. I'm just kidding. I like that joke though. I've actually seen in the groups a lot of people have doctors tell them they can't have narcolepsy because they have insomnia. And that's bunk. You would think these doctors had Google. I do. Not that I'm diagnosing myself by Google, but when you go into a doctor and you tell them that you have something and they say, people with narcolepsy don't have that, it's a very simple Google search to show them, yes, actually they do. Keep trying different ways to cope with insomnia. My husband has it, so I feel for you. I mean, it's definitely not an easy thing, especially on top of narcolepsy. That makes it even harder. So what you want to do is you want to tweak and try something and then journal about it. Journaling is super important when you have insomnia because you're very sleep deprived. On top of having, you know, the narcolepsy sleep deprivation, you have the I haven't slept sleep deprivation on top of that. So you're not going to remember how you felt on Tuesday by the time Thursday or Friday come. You're not going to remember how you slept. You're not going to remember if you had naps. The executive function of the brain starts to slip as we head into sleep deprivation. And little things like that are one of the first things to go. That's why we can't remember, you know, what we had for lunch last Tuesday or what we were wearing on Wednesday. It just happens. So journaling, especially if you're trying to find something that helps, is super important. Okay, I'm going to read this because it's a little bit. If both your mind and your body are tired, you must rest. Even if you don't think you'll sleep, lay down, cover your eyes, put on some headphones, listen to an audiobook, listen to a guided meditation, listen to some soft music, because your body needs that physical rest, and so does your mind. So if you're just laying there, you're not walking, talking, picking things up, trying to read things, making your brain do all these executive functions. You're just laying still and letting your mind be entertained. That's when, you know, you're still going to get some of those benefits. It's not napping, it's not sleeping, but it's better than trying to watch television and your brain is going through all this stuff and your eyes are having that visual light stimulation and you're sitting up or whatever. Rest is so important, especially if both your mind and body are tired. If your body is tired, but your brain is super active, like you don't want to close your eyes, you don't want to, you know, you just want to be doing something, but your body is super tired. You want to listen to something to try and turn your brain off. So they have self-hypnosis videos on YouTube that are hours and hours long, a guided meditation, something super boring. You need to, I still have to do that video on how I learned to quiet my mind completely. But the best thing to do is to listen to something else and repeat what you're hearing if you have to. Like if your thoughts stray, just repeat what you're hearing after you hear it. You can visualize the words scrolling like caption, like you're listening to me talk, but your brain is seeing the caption of what I'm saying. That also helps you shut your brain off to hyper-focus on one thing like that. If your body is awake and your brain is awake, you could just get up. Get up and go do something. Nothing like folding laundry at 3 in the morning to make you want to go back to bed and rest. But if your body and your brain are both active for, say, longer than a half an hour, you're just going to stress yourself out staying in bed. So get up and do something physical that might make you tired. Don't go in the kitchen and graze, but maybe get a chore done that you have to do, something you can do quietly, or read a book, do some puzzles on your phone, whatever is going to help you get back to that place of tired. Narcolepsy is a segmented sleep disorder, so it's very easy to find yourself wide awake in the middle of the night for absolutely no reason. So try some new techniques to see if you got to get that rest. That's what's important. If you're not getting the sleep, you have to get the rest. And definitely cover your eyes and use headphones. Be mindful of your room being too warm or too cold. They say people sleep better in a cold room than a warm one. And try strict sleep hygiene and see if it helps. If you've never heard of sleep hygiene, you can Google it. For me, I just try to make sure I go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time, and I don't pay a ton of attention to the other rules of sleep hygiene. I'm a rebel. There's always something that you can be trying to do. I want to plug a few things here. I'll put links in the comments of the videos. If you're looking to talk about narcolepsy in a positive environment, find new coping skills, or just hang out where everyone is tired and we all have a decent sense of humor, you can check out the Positively Narcolepsy group on Facebook. Be sure to answer the questions if you join, or your request will be deleted. If you don't use Facebook, you can check out my website at goingbeyondcoping.com. I've got a lot of tips on there. My contact page has like a Q&A. If you're feeling this, watch this. If you're feeling that, watch this, kind of a thing. If you're looking to try and use diet to see if you can get some more wakefulness, there's a group on Facebook called Madcap Narcolepsy. Gina Dennis has modified the ketogenic diet to work for people with narcolepsy, and she's literally helped thousands of people get off or reduce their medications. She's been interviewed in Sleep Review magazine, she's spoken at conferences, and she does it all just because she can and she wants to help other people. So madcapnarcolepsy.com is her website, and if you're on Facebook, search for the Madcap Narcolepsy group. There's an amino acid called L-citrulline malate. It's used by weightlifters a lot, and it I'm not going to try and explain what it does because it's not my thing. So it gives people wakefulness. They take it in the morning, and it's helping them also get more wakefulness and reduce or even get off meds. There's a group on Facebook called the L-CM Project. Brian runs that, and he's a veritable encyclopedia of narcolepsy. And yeah, the LCM. He has a bunch of other amino acids that he plays around with. So if that's a fascination of yours, you can find out more in that group. Also on Facebook is a group called Narcolepsy Naturally. Those people are all trying to cope without meds, primarily using exercise. A lot of narcoleptics find exercise to be like medicine for them. So if that interests you, David also has a pay course that you can check out on his website, narcolepsynaturally.com. But the group is free, and you can go in and learn about all different kinds of coping techniques there as well. That's about it. If you want to visit my blog, you can help me keep going. I do work for a living, and this is a hobby of mine, and I'd like to turn it into something more than that. So goingbeyondcoping.com, any pages that you visit help me generate revenue. If you use the recommended products links to purchase anything on Amazon, I get a little bit of money off that. Helps me pay for my hosting. And there's also a support this site if you wanted to check that out as well. Thank you for watching. If you made it this whole 35 minutes, I appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the Positively Narcolepsy group. Thanks so much. Have a great day.